You're listening to another episode of the Just Go Bike podcast, powered by RAGBRAI. This is the award-winning podcast where we are all about the culture of cycling, just for the fun of it. Your hosts are Murph from the Murphology podcast and AP from Parrot Talk. With tales from all over the nation, come for the bikes, stay for the fun, and leave with a smile. And now here is Murph.
Hey, that's me.
And AP.
Hey, that's me. Well, hey, Murph.
Hey there, AP. How's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
I am fabulous. I am getting pumped up. You know, RAGBRAI's complete, and I'm getting pumped up for the next RAGBRAI focused ride, which is coming up pretty darn quick.
That's right. The Great Iowa Fall Ride is just around the corner on September 13th, on Saturday, September 13th. And we are so excited that we have both already picked out which bikes we're going to ride on that event.
And kind of our outfits, too. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, so just
and
get
then
ready.
For the first time ever, we're doing a speaker series the night before.
That's
and
right.
We're calling it Just Go Bike Live.
Yeah.
So if you guys are coming to the Great Iowa Fall Ride, come to that event. It's the night before, and it is free to do the Just Go Bike Live.
Yeah, Just Go Bike Live is kind of like an event that Murph and I used to host in the past. So we're bringing it back, and It'll be a series of speakers, like Murph said. They each talk for 5 to 10 minutes, and they'll be really interesting people from around the Iowa bike community. And Murph is working on preparing that lineup for us right now, so we'll come back to you later with who those people are exactly. But it's going to be really fun, and then we'll have some either beer or soft drinks if you'd like that instead. And you can just sort of chat and mingle and meet some people from around the bike community.
We have 4 speakers lined up already, but we keep your eye on social media on the RAGBRAI pages because we will announce very, very soon.
Yeah, so exciting.
Okay, so today is part 3 in our series of rider recaps, and another fabulous episode is in store. But I felt like you and I should play a quick game. We've played this game when we are Zwifting, which is a virtual bike ride, and it was so fun. And I thought, what the heck? Let's play it today, just me and you.
Yeah.
Are you in? You don't even know what it is yet, but are you in?
I mean, always. Anything, if you're suggesting it, I'm game. So.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So it's called This or That, the cycling edition. So basically, I'm going to say this insert item or that insert item, and then we both say how we feel. And then if you have any, you should say them too.
Okay, and riders, you better play along by yourself over there in listener land so that you can, just out of interest because it's kind of a fun game.
Yeah. Okay, my first one, this is interesting because I'll just say it.
Okay.
Carbon frame or steel frame?
Ooh, I'm carbon frame. Although I do love a steel bike, I need the extra speed.
And I would say steel is real. Almost all of my bikes are steel, but my newest bike is carbon, and I absolutely love it. So if I had to pick, I would still stick with steel.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good answer. This is a foreshadowing to what bikes we're going to ride on the fall ride as well. So
Exactly.
yeah. Okay. Would you do clipless pedals or flat pedals?
The only bike that I do not have clipless pedals is my fat bike, because when I'm riding my fat bike, I'm usually on kind of sketchy terrain, whether it's snow or mud or sand, and I want to be able to jump off my bike quick. But everything else is clipless. How about you?
Mine are clipless on my carbon bike, but all my other bikes are the cheater answer, which is flat on one side and clip in on the other side. Because I like to be able to have the option to wear tennis shoes and bike around casually if I need.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
This will be obvious, my answer, but backpack or saddlebags?
Ooh. I prefer a big saddlebag because I just don't like anything hot on me while I'm biking.
I would say if you were to actual Google that, the same thing would pop up because putting more weight on your body is way different experience than just putting weight on your bike and pedaling.
Yeah.
So I would for sure say saddlebags, but
Yeah.
I'm also a bagger at heart. And so the more junk I can put on my bike, the more comfortable I feel.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you're a bagger all the way. But yeah, there's just something about wearing something on your back that I don't even like putting stuff in my jersey pockets, to be honest with you.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, thanks for being honest about that.
You know, I try. So, all right. So what about bananas or energy bars?
Ooh. I would pick energy bars just because the banana doesn't last very long before it gets like brown and squishy and such.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm fully banana on this one. I love bananas. They're delicious. I just eat it before it gets brown and squishy. But I will say that I have used multiple of Murph's energy bars for when I had an emergency and I got super hungry. So I should probably pack some more of those.
That is totally true.
Yeah.
Okay, I already know the answer of what you're going to say, but training plan or just ride and see?
Oh, just ride and see, baby. I love to ride. I just go out there and have a good time. And I do have some set routes that I like, but yeah.
And what do you think my answer would be?
I think you're the same, honestly.
Oh, really?
Well, I've never seen you come up with a training plan except for the Morphology Challenge, the Winter Challenge. But
yeah, and all the Zwift rides.
That's true.
Yeah.
Those count as a training plan?
Well, I mean, I have to go in and figure out which route we're going to take.
That's true.
I guess
That's
it's
true.
kind of a training plan. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I would say for the most part, I'm just ride and see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Do you have a certain set number of miles that you need to ride each year that you have a goal or?
No, I don't.
All right.
I mean, it's usually, it's into the many, many thousands.
Yeah.
But it's more of how I feel.
Sure. Okay.
Which is, pretty cool. Okay, let's each do like maybe one more.
Okay.
Pie stop or ice cream stop?
Ooh, I have to be a heretic and say ice cream stop. I mean, RAGBRAI is all about the pie, but I am obsessed with ice cream.
Really?
So I know your answer is different on this one.
Oh, yeah. I'm not a huge fan of ice cream, so pie all the way.
Well, so then we'll each have something. We don't have to compete.
Okay. But maybe the stop has to have both.
Yeah.
And then we can pick.
Yeah. Let's see. Which one am I going to pick? How about headwind or crosswind? The evil choice.
Ugh. I would pick crosswind if I had to have one or the other. I would pick crosswind.
Yeah, me too. Although if it's windy, I just don't ride. Period. I'll go inside. I don't care.
I would say if I'm with a group of people, then bring on the headwind because I'll just tuck behind somebody who's taller than me.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, you and me led on pre-ride a couple days where there was a headwind.
We did.
So
that's
look,
right.
we take our turn.
That's right.
So yeah.
Well, okay, we've got two great RAGBRAI riders that are going to tell their story, and of course, they're both great. So let's get to it.
Ooh, I can't wait to hear who it is.
Well, can you tell the listeners your name and where you're from?
Hi, my name is Birdie Murphy, and I am from Winona, Minnesota.
Winona, Minnesota, and a fellow Murphy. I don't think we're related. I don't think I have any relatives in Minnesota. Do you have any relatives in Iowa?
Not that I know of, but there's like 8 million Murphys out there, so who knows?
I know. I actually went to Ireland with my father, it was probably about 10 years ago, and he was so excited when we got to Dublin, to find a phone book, which phone books used to exist. And he's like, I'm going to look up Murphys and see if we can find some of our relatives. And there were like 40 pages of Murphys and probably like 300 John Murphys and 300 William Murphys. So the moral of that story is there are a lot of Murphys out there.
There sure are.
Yeah. So I'm assuming you did RAGBRAI since you were on this episode.
Correct. This was my first year doing RAGBRAI.
Your first year?
Yes. I had heard about RAGBRAI a number of years ago, and it was just kind of in the back of my mind. And last year, it went through one of the Iowa towns I happened to be working in, and I was really excited to do that. But then I was a little concerned because in May of 2024, I gave up my relationship with alcohol. I stopped drinking May of 2024, and in my mind, RAGBRAI was just a rolling party, so I was a little worried about doing it.
You're like, can it exist if I'm not drinking?
Exactly.
Okay.
And since my first idea of doing RAGBRAI and the present, I started volunteering with an organization called the Phoenix. It's an active, sober community. And I thought, why not pair the two? Why not try to do a combination of the Phoenix does RAGBRAI?
So you're saying you ended up coming to Iowa this year and you completed RAGBRAI?
I did. Yep. I did all the miles of RAGBRAI. Well, I should say most of the miles. There was one gosh darn day that was a little tough for me.
Okay. And then did you do RAGBRAI sober?
Yes, I did.
Oh, congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. It was actually a wonderful experience. Day 0 in Orange City, the day of the expo, I was still a little nervous about it, but I went and I got to meet Ryan Doozer and Connor of Priority Bicycles, and we had a great conversation. And Connor just said, RAGBRAI is what you make of it. Mm-hmm. And that message spoke volumes to me, and I used that message throughout the whole week, and it was great.
Oh, that's great. Will you, I want to talk about your experience on RAGBRAI, but will you first tell us a little bit about what the Phoenix is?
Certainly. So the Phoenix is an active sober community that hosts in-person and virtual events. Mm-hmm. The only cost for folks to attend is 48 hours of sobriety. So if you have 48 hours of sobriety, you can attend our in-person events such as hikes, running events, rock climbing. We have CrossFit gyms throughout the country, as well as virtual events such as meditation, yoga, and book clubs.
And then the Phoenix, was there actually like a team that came to RAGBRAI, or were you solo this year?
I was a team of 1 this year.
Ooh, okay.
But I hope to grow the team. I spoke with a number of people throughout the ride, handed out business cards with our information. And for next year, I'm going to work with our PR person and some other staff at the Phoenix, along with some folks at RAGBRAI, hopefully, to get Team Phoenix to do RAGBRAI 53 next year.
Oh, that's super cool.
I think so. I'm excited to have a team that I think combines the things that we focus on, that we care about for the Phoenix. Being active and being part of a community. I think being present on RAGBRAI will be a great addition for the activities that we do.
Sure. And I would say, well, you'll tell me, but I would think even coming this year as a solo rider, I'm hoping that you, at least by the end of the week, felt a great sense of community. Is that true, I hope?
100%. I think there was a question about one of the best things that you brought away from RAGBRAI, one of the best experiences you had. And I sat down and had to think about what was the best experience. I couldn't come up with one because every single day I met amazing people and received support from people, was able to offer support for people who needed assistance with their bicycle on the side of the road, or I was able to share a snack with somebody who their blood sugar had dropped a little bit and they just need a little pick-me-up. And just that community and support on RAGBRAI was wonderful.
Mm-hmm. It's like a traveling circus, but not really. Like, I don't know if you experienced this, but somebody you may meet at the expo or on the first day, somehow you will see that person throughout the week. I don't know if that happened at all to you.
That totally happened to me. So,
and weren't you Monday, like, how in the heck is this happening with 20,000 people? But go ahead.
Yeah, on Monday I stopped because I started the day fairly early every day, but because I wanted to stop in as many small towns as I could and just experience Iowa. Mm-hmm. I loved that. So I stopped in Wahpeton. I hope I'm saying that right.
Yeah, you are. Yep.
On day 1, and they had on the back of their stop, they had this games section, and so you could go fishing, you play ring toss on flamingos, and you could race minnows. So I raced a minnow against a fellow rider. They gave us a minnow each and a straw, and we had to chase our minnow down this trough of water and see whose minnow got to the end first. And then I saw her on the last day, like in Guttenberg when we're getting, our pictures taken. I ran into her again.
Oh my gosh.
So day 1 and day 7, and your point exactly, how with 20,000 people do you run into the same folks?
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. And your story about the minnows, I got to do that too. Those were live little baby fish. Like,
Yes.
I'm sure everybody knows what a minnow is, but it wasn't like a floating minnow. It was a swimming minnow. And, that was a really fun. All of those games were really fun there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All the stops were just wonderful. I thoroughly enjoyed being able to visit the small towns and chat with the folks. It was great.
Mm-hmm. And have you ever experienced anything like RAGBRAI where it's a multi-day, multi-town type event?
Not to this extent. I did a couple shorter rides, like 3-day rides, when I was quite a bit younger and in better shape. A few smaller rides, the MS 150, and I forget, but one other ride where we were raising money for an organization. So the tone and the theme was a little bit different. Now, on this particular ride, I actually did raise money for the Phoenix, but it was more than just focusing on a sponsorship and focusing on a fundraiser. But it just seemed to fit in to the whole event to tell people about the Phoenix and then show them that I had a little donation page if they were interested in donating. But the ride, I love that RAGBRAI it's so much bigger than just a bike ride. Like the community that surrounds it and the communities that you go through in Iowa, it's so much bigger than just riding a bike.
I think one of our previous interviews, Rose, said almost that exact same thing where, you're going there to ride your bike across Iowa, but it's such a small part of the entire experience.
Exactly.
So would you say, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, I think getting that many people together that enjoy riding a bike, it makes for, I felt like I was in heaven the entire week, even when there were hills, headwinds, and humidity. It still was, I felt like I was amongst my people. So it felt wonderful.
Yeah, yeah. And then how did you RAGBRAI? Did you camp or were you with a charter?
So folks in the beginning, when I told them I was doing RAGBRAI, they're like, oh, you should get a charter for your first year. And I'm like, I'm just going to dive in. So I did the main campground and I had RAGBRAI carry my stuff. And I probably packed too much. I will definitely say I packed too much. But I had some swag that the Phoenix gave me, as well as I was sponsored by a non-alcoholic bitters company called All the Bitter. So I had swag from them as well. So I was carrying the swag, the important stuff, in bags on my bike. So I looked like I was one of the RAGBRAI baggers. But really, I had hats and T-shirts and stickers and magnets in the bags. And then my camping gear was transported by RAGBRAI.
You went full in on RAGBRAI, where you used the official RAGBRAI campgrounds and the official RAGBRAI semi-trailers. And you, I'm assuming, camped in a tent, slept on the ground. You did the whole thing.
Yes, and that made for an interesting experience because the gear that I used, I had never used before.
Oh.
So come Wednesday night, as I'm setting up my tent in preparation for the thunderstorm that was rolling through in the next hour, I was wondering to myself, I wonder how waterproof my tent is since my husband bought this tent in 1999.
Oh, no. Please tell me it was waterproof.
I learned really quickly that it had lived beyond its years. So Wednesday was a bit of a damp experience, but Thursday, Cedar Falls became my favorite town for a variety of reasons. Rolling into Cedar Falls, there was I believe it was a Lutheran church that had the Cedar Valley Strings. Mm-hmm. So they had a string, like a string quintet. I can't remember exactly how many folks were there, playing 90s alternative rock music on strings. It was amazing. Like I'm rolling down the street hearing Nirvana. on strings.
Ah, I missed
So that was
that.
great. That was super great. And they had a laundromat and a Shields.
Ah, so you got your clothing dry, and did you have to get a new tent?
I sure did. Yep. So that tent is now in a landfill in Iowa Falls. I
Right.
left the tent in Iowa Falls. It served us well. And I purchased a new tent, a very spacious, wonderful new tent from Shields. So thank you, Cedar Falls.
Yes, yes, that was one of my favorite towns as well. And I'm assuming, especially since you had bags full of swag, that you were able to meet some fabulous people.
100% every single day, probably at 5 to 10 folks a day, having conversations with them, hearing their story, sharing my story. And that made RAGBRAI just wonderful, hearing people's stories.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little hesitant in the beginning to talk about my sobriety, but as the days went on, I was sharing my story and people were telling me about their family member, their relative, their neighbor, themselves, and opening up to me. And it was just a wonderful experience to hear everyone's story.
Ah, that's great. Do you think you'll come back and do RAGBRAI again?
100%. And next year, I hope to bring more people.
Oh, cool. Yeah, Team Phoenix.
Exactly.
And you'll have a beautiful tent that maybe
Hopefully.
you could have other friends in there with you. I don't know.
Definitely. We're working at the logistics. I am meeting with a woman who's been doing RAGBRAI with a team for 15 years. And so she's going to help me with the logistics of what vehicles you need to transport people and their stuff in, and what different volunteer roles you'll have to have folks to support the people on the ride. So whereas this year I was a solo rider who used RAGBRAI services, next year I'm going to be organizing a team. So it's going to still be really fun to bike, but I'm going to be like organizing a team and other people to join me.
Sure. And you mentioned that you were, raising money for the Phoenix. Do you have a website that people could go if they are either looking at sobriety or looking at donating?
So if they go to thephoenix.org, that will be all the information about the Phoenix, and they can, if they're interested in becoming a member, they can go find out information there and become a member and join our events. There's a general button to donate, and then I do have a specific one for my fundraising page, but either option is great.
Okay, last question. Heat, hills, or headwinds? Which one really got to you?
Oh, it was an or. I thought it was an and.
Okay, you can say all three.
I think it's a headwind, and going into RAGBRAI, I know this about myself. I have done longer rides, and I can ride in the rain, I can ride in the cold, I can ride in a side wind, but as soon as it's a headwind, it crushes my little spirit. So the headwind was the worst.
A lot of people have been saying that. So yeah. And that's, the heat, the hills, and the headwinds, those are things that we just cannot control. So you have to have the mental status to get through it. And obviously you did.
Yes, I did.
Awesome. Well, Birdie, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and sharing your story. And I'm glad you came to Iowa. And we'll have to do a repeat maybe next spring to talk about Team Phoenix.
I would love that. Hopefully by next spring, I'm a lot more organized and I can speak more eloquently about the team that I've set up.
Awesome. Sounds great. Thank you.
Thanks, Murph.
We will be right back.
At First Form, they're more than just supplements. They're built for performance, driven by purpose, and proud to fuel the RAGBRAI journey.
First Form helps real people earn real long-term results on the bike and beyond.
From clean energy to high-protein snacks that actually fuel you, they're here to keep you moving, recovering, and riding strong.
Come find the First Form team out on the route. Let's crush RAGBRAI together.
Now, back to the show.
Okay, we've got another RAGBRAI LII experience to talk about. So tell everybody what your name is and where you currently live.
Okay, hi, my name is Lora and I live in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Ah, Minnesota. Now, I've talked to people from Minnesota several times on this podcast, and they always brag about the beautiful bike lanes and how great it is to bike. Do you feel the same way where you live?
I do. And and being in the Twin Cities, the bike infrastructure up here is so great and really I feel spoiled by it and try not to take it for granted. So I try to get out there and enjoy it as much as I can.
Sure. I definitely need to spend some more time in the Twin Cities with a bicycle.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad that you were able to connect and we could get on the podcast to tell your RAGBRAI story. And I guess the first question I'd like to ask is, who did you ride with? Whether it was with family, with friends, on a team?
Okay. Yeah. I rode with, my husband, Jeff, always. And this year we joined a team out of, I think they're based in Ames and Des Moines area. And they're called Los Bastardos. And we found them on Facebook. And it was just sort of, I don't know, we had just always wanted to see what it was like to ride with a team. We've done like a charter before. We've done the main campground before. And we were looking for some kind of community experience that didn't feel overwhelming and like we had to work too hard to make friends.
Right. And what was the process like? Because if you're saying, this is kind of like online dating almost, right? You like see them on Facebook and like, I think we'd be great with them. Or how did that work?
I saw in the RAGBRAI group page, someone was saying our team is looking for like 4 more riders or something. And so I just messaged him right away and was like, we're totally normal and we're not going to we're not going to destroy your campsite or whatever. I just told him a little bit about us and try to make us look really appealing and cool. And he put me in touch with the captain, who I also was like, hey, we're totally normal and cool. And then it was really just like, okay, sounds good. This is kind of the logistics of it. And it was great because they had everything organized. Like they'd been riding together as a team for many years. And so they had it down with just how much food to bring along. And they had a grill that they would cook dinner every night so that when you get back to camp and you're hungry, you don't have to wait forever to get downtown and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's just everything was thought of and taken care of. And even the host that we stayed at each night, they'd already prearranged all that. So it was by far the best way that I think we've done it so
far. And does this team, do they have a team bus, or how did you get to Orange City? And then how did, I think you said homestays, but tell me more about that.
So they have an RV, and a lot of people met in Ames and just parked at the team captain's house and then rode from Ames to Orange City. We have a cabin in the Okoboji area, and so we were already on that side of the state. And so we just drove to Orange City, and our mothers met there and took our car. And they also had to get our dog. So so we got ourselves to Orange City. And then it was the team captain and his wife slept on the Winnebago. And then I think they had room for 2 or 3 more people who, if they just didn't want to camp out that night, or if it rained or something. But the rest of us just set up our tents around the houses where we were staying, and it was super easy and fun. And you had this built-in group of friends to hang out with every night. And I just had a blast.
Oh, that sounds awesome. And so when you rode in, you kind of had a change of, midweek, the way things were going. So I'm curious to see how this turned out.
Yeah. So my husband and I love to ride together, but we were going on another trip 2 weeks after we got back from RAGBRAI, and he was concerned that he wouldn't have enough leave to do both of them.
Oh, yeah.
So he decided just to do 3 days of RAGBRAI. And so he left when we got to Forest City, and then it was just me the rest of the time. And there was only one other woman on the team, and then she left on day 4. So it was me. And then 12 dudes that I had just met.
So you and the guys.
Right. And and not that I was concerned about anything, I wasn't worried that anybody would be inappropriate or whatever.
Right.
And they were all completely, went out of their way to make me comfortable and stuff. I guess I was just worried that they'd be annoyed that there'd just be this random girl here and we have to act different because there's a woman here, and I'd be breaking up their male bonding or something. But they were all so nice and accepted me, and I didn't feel strange or uncomfortable being the only woman at all.
Yeah, that's good. And if they've been doing RAGBRAI together as a team for many years, just it's always changes the dynamic to have anybody new.
Yeah.
But then for you to kind of be like, ugh, is it okay if I'm here? But
I know. Yeah.
Oh, that turned out great. And,
Yes.
we had a couple days with heat, we had some wind, and of course we had the storms come through. Do you feel like you had the right amount of gear or too much gear or not enough?
I probably had too much gear. There were definitely a few articles of clothing that I didn't wear. I get worried about nutrition, and so I like way overpacked on like snacks and food and stuff like that. And I ate like maybe a quarter of all my snacks that I
Yeah.
brought. Other than that, I feel like I did a pretty good job. It just feels like for two people, camping gear for two people always feels like more than it needs to be. So I don't know.
I am the same. I brought home like I think 2 boxes of the granola bars that I took, that are my favorite to eat every morning, and I brought them back, and then now they're all melted in their packaging, but I guess it brings back RAGBRAI memories every time I open one.
Yeah. Oh, I have a funny story about melting if you want to hear it.
Yeah, let's hear it.
When we were staying in Forest City, we were staying at the team captain, whose name is Brad. His cousin, Wanda, was letting us stay at her house. And so we were still camping in her yard, but we were able to go in and like shower and use her laundry facilities and stuff. And there was a guy doing his laundry ahead of me, and I was going to put my laundry in. And so I was just like, hey, so I'll just put your wash in the dryer and put my stuff in the wash. Cool. He's like, yeah, cool, fine. And so as I was doing that, I noticed he had something in his pocket, and I was like, oh, that probably shouldn't go in the dryer. And I pulled it out, and it looked like, honestly, a bag of like dog poo.
Oh no.
I'm thinking it was probably like, we figured out that it was a melted Cliff Bar, but I thought it was like, ugh, he's not going to want that. So I threw it away. Okay. The next day, we see this message on like the team group chat, and he's like, hey, so I somehow misplaced my credit card and my cash and my debit card and whatever. So if anybody sees it. And it took us like till the end of the day and they had saved the garbage from the night before. Like the RV driver came in and he was like, here's the bags of garbage. And when he said garbage, I was like, oh, I wonder if it's that thing I threw away.
Oh.
And it was. He had his.
So he had some sort of food item mixed in with his cash and credit.
And I threw it away. But we tracked it down and it was fine. But she took a picture of it, the captain's cousin, when she took it out of her garbage and sent it to us. And it really did look like a bag of dog poo. So everybody was like, yeah, you should. I would have thrown that away too.
Yeah. And his credit cards are probably forever going to smell like chocolate or hopefully it didn't smell like poo. But right.
Luckily, yeah, it all worked out. But it was
Oh, wow. And do you feel like you've now made some lifelong friends? I mean, that's kind of the story of everyone you meet
absolutely.
on RAGBRAI.
Yeah, totally. And like, so these 2 guys in particular, one of whom was the guy whose credit cards I threw away. His name was Randy, and there was another guy named John from Indiana. And I could tell they were kind of like me in their writing preferences, like leaving early before it gets too hot, like not getting hammered on the route, and like, or like waiting till you get back to camp for any major partying. And so it would have been day 5. I think we were hanging out the night before in Iowa Falls, and we were going to go back early. So I was like, oh, if you guys are going back early, that probably means you're going to leave early. Do you want to just ride together tomorrow? And so we did. And then we just and I think it was college jersey day or something. And so I had to hear Boiler Up like 600 times because they're Purdue guys.
Yeah.
But they were really nice. I mean, again, it was like the thing about feeling like the only woman, but I don't know. I'm kind of slow on hills, and they would always like wait for me at the top of a hill.
Oh,
and,
that's awesome.
I don't know. Yeah, I was like their little RAGBRAI sister just tagging along, and they were totally nice about it. So I have to do a particular shout out to them.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. And okay, so people that are listening to this, some people don't understand that when you do RAGBRAI, you can actually ride by yourself and still know that your friends and family or whoever you're riding with, you're going to find them eventually.
Yeah, absolutely. And like but honestly, that's what I did on day 4. Is that Wednesday? The terrible headwind day.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
Riding into Iowa Falls. because I knew that like I just needed to concentrate on surviving that day.
Yeah.
Because maybe you can relate to this, but I'm at an age where my body is having a hard time like regulating temperature.
Ah, sure.
And so like heat exhaustion, like I was kind of concerned about, and also just like not pushing myself too hard in those winds. And so that day I rode by myself because I knew I just wanted to pay really close attention to my body and not like get distracted by whatever, wanting to see things and drink a beer or a party or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was really I made it. I was really proud of myself, and felt really good at the end of it. And so like that riding by myself day was a really big accomplishment, I thought. And it was the first day that I was riding without my husband too. I don't know, he was like waiting to hear if I had made it that day. But yeah, and after that I was like, okay, if I can do that day, like I can certainly do the rest of this week.
Oh yeah.
On my own, but I wasn't even on my own. So
yeah. And like everybody does RAGBRAI their own way. So I feel really passionate about like you have to go at your own pace because you're still going to do the same miles, and if you're going to push it and try and go to somebody else's pace, that's when, like you said, the heat exhaustion and not having fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So when you think about the different ways you've experienced RAGBRAI with camping and using the official campgrounds, and now with the team, do you have a favorite, or are they all kind of just cool experiences?
I think they all have their merits at different stages of your life. I feel like I'm too old to main campground it anymore. Like it's just that feels so, I mean, kudos to anyone who does it.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I just want a little more like security, and like on the night that they had the storm, we were lucky enough to be staying at a guy's house who had this air conditioned outbuilding. And we just set up our tents in there. So we didn't need to worry about the rain or the storm that night. So yeah, just like to not have to worry about what happens if it rains, or like, being able to charge your phone and junk like that.
Yeah.
I feel like main campground had its place when we were younger and more into that like kind of roughing it thing.
Sure.
And then charter, I think charters are great. They take a lot of the work out of it. But for us, it just felt like too many people to try to form any kind of connections, and we've also done it where we have our camper and we have a friend just drive our truck with our camper on it.
Oh yeah.
And that's nice because it's air conditioned and you get a bed and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was just kind of our camper's kind of small. It was just a few of us. So yeah, all this is to say, I think I will continue to ride with this team if they will have us, because it was by far the most fun experience.
Oh, that's awesome. And then that also answers my last question, which is, do you think you'll come back and do it again?
Definitely. Like I would, we've done it. This is probably I think we figured out this is our 7th RAGBRAI, and I think we were sort of like baby stepping into it at first, where we do a day or like 3 days or whatever. And now after the last few years, I just feel like you got to sign up for the whole week. That's the whole experience of it. And for me, that's where like the like life-changing part of it happens. So,
yeah. Well said. Yeah. I agree with that completely. Yeah. You like go through, when you're on it, well, let's just say 8 days, because if you count the, the expo day, at least for me, I go through a roller coaster of emotions as the week goes on.
Oh my
like
God.
When you're,
yes.
When you don't get any sleep, the next day you're just like, why am I using vacation time to do this? And then when you have a beautiful, like when we rolled into Cedar Falls, I was like, this is the best day ever. God. I don't ever want RAGBRAI to end. And so it's,
Yeah. And when you're with a group of people, it just feels like I felt like we had become a family by that last morning when we were rolling out. Like we had multi-generations with us. And like, I just remember one of our young guys, as we were getting ready, was like, well, I'm going to go up to Casey's. Does anybody want pizza? And, he was like, sure. And he came back with like a whole breakfast pizza.
Oh.
And we were all just like having breakfast together. And then like, all right, see you guys on the other side. And,
that's so great.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a good feeling.
Well, do you want to give your team a shout out or anything?
Yeah. Los Bastardos. And all of so it was like only like 4 or 5 people who'd done it before, and then like a whole bunch of new people on it.
Oh, cool.
And so I really hope that I would love it if everyone came back again. I did it next year, but it was just such a great dynamic of different ages and different perspectives. And like, I don't know, just everybody brought something unique and special to the dynamic. And I would love it if they all did it again next year, everybody.
And I don't want to throw your husband under the bus, but I'm sure he had a little bit of FOMO at the end of the week.
Oh my God. Yeah. I felt bad for him. I was like really missing him on one of the days where I was like, I don't want to do this without you anymore. I was kind of pitying myself. But I think, and when I got back, I tried not to be like, that was the best thing ever, because I didn't want to make him feel bad for missing it. But yeah, he was, after he got over that, the next week, he starting talking about getting excited for next year and definitely
that's
him
great.
Staying the whole week next year.
Yeah. Oh, well, awesome. Well, thank you, Lora, for sharing your story. And it's always fun to hear other people's experiences because, I've been doing RAGBRAI for a long time, and I know there's just so many different ways to do it and still have the best time ever. So thank you.
Absolutely. Of course. Thank you.
Well, listeners, that is it for today. We want to thank you for tuning in to listen to the Just Go Bike podcast. If you would like to contact Murph and AP with a comment about the podcast, or maybe even you have a topic in mind, you can reach us at justgobikepodcast@gmail.com. Please follow us on Instagram and Facebook and watch our intros on YouTube. And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast, especially if you're a fan. That is going to do it for this week. Until next time,
Just go bike.
Theme song by Ryan Steer, logo by Suzanne Milosevic, produced by Kathy Murphy, social media by Andrea Parrott, intro by Pumpkin. Until next time, just go bike.